Hey kids, and welcome to the Beer, Dice, and Sick Minis podcast. We're the podcast for the average gamer that just don't give a shit, likes to drink and play games with his homies.
You're average.
You're average.
Below average.
You're a beer.
Yeah, your mom's a beer.
I remember my first beer.
As always, I am joined by the two greatest idiots. They are 5-star generals of idiotdom.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Joe McLean
Yay!
and Jeremy Wilkson.
Who let that guy in?
I don't know. I did. I tried not to.
He started walking back to his car. It got really awkward for a
In
second.
the car, man. It was
And
sad.
literally for the next quite a bit, you're going to get to yap away with us about various different miniatures games.
If you
game
yap at
systems.
your radio, you should probably check yourself into somewhere.
Shush, I'm talking.
Where do I need to go for that?
Well, there's this place. You go down the road, you take a left, you keep going until it turns.
See how that worked?
You'll see Hank.
Tangent averted.
You'll see Hank. He's in a yellow raincoat. He'll tell you where to go from there.
No, seriously. Anyway, we're going to talk about some Malifaux, and we're going to probably take a quick look at the new Games Workshop offering Warcry, which is basically a similar to Kill Team, but for Age of Sigmar stuff. We're going to talk about that, hobby projects, painting, various crap like that. And of course, as always, we'll be brought to you by a shit ton of Wild Tangents. That's going to be our sponsor of this podcast.
Yay!
Wild Tangents. Not to be confused with the Wild Stallions, which are fronted by Keanu Reeves.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Hey,
was
you
wrong?
don't mess with Keanu, man.
No, you don't. You don't fuck with Keanu.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
A legend.
Yes.
That's epic.
Leave me alone.
No, I won't. You came to my house, sir. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun, and pretty much we're gonna get drunk, and you're gonna listen to us spew a bunch of stupid shit.
As usual. So
Or-
the usual.
Or maybe we're already drunk.
Maybe. You don't have to do this, people. Just turn it off. You'll be fine.
No, you do have to
Does
do
it
it.
smell like chloroform to you?
I seriously want to get famous off this shit. No, I really don't, because I wouldn't.
You're already famous. I saw those pictures on the internet.
That was for gay porn. It's totally different. That's just totally,
The Italian stallion.
totally. And I'm not Italian, but totally different world.
No, you were the little box boy who came in very awkwardly.
I'm at a loss at the moment. Anyway, a couple
Like,
weeks.
oh, there's people having sex in the back room.
Shut up.
I guess I'll watch.
No, seriously, shut up.
Why does he invite us back?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss myself. A couple weeks ago, Mclean and I did actually do a segment on Warhammer Apocalypse.
Very cool.
The 40K supplement. We went kind of in depth in a lot of that stuff. And that segment will actually be tagged onto this podcast. Initially, and during that podcast, I had said that I would tack this segment with me and Jeremy talking about Malifaux stuff onto the podcast McLean and I did, but plans got reversed. And because it has been an extra couple weeks since you have had an episode, and that was not originally the plan due to sickness and various other issues, we ended up tacking that onto this one, and you're getting a double-length episode, basically. Because,
You're welcome.
because our Apocalypse conversation was an hour long. Fuckers.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to come up with this shit. You best like it.
You're going to learn today.
You gonna learn. You gonna learn. And so not only, what was the sponsor I said earlier that we were brought to?
Random Tangents.
Random Tangent. Yeah, Wild Tangent.
Wild Tangent.
So not only are we is the podcast brought to you by Wild Tangent, the podcast is also brought to you by our new sponsor, Little Blue Light.
Yes.
Light.
Little blue light. It'll
Not-
blind you.
Not to be confused with the little red light we had last time.
No, this is bright
last time
blue.
was
This is
big
bright
blue.
blue light.
Yeah, bright blue light.
Bright blue globes.
I will
can't
say
that.
I will say that at the end of every podcast, I do ask for feedback and people to email me and say things. And nobody specifically went out of their way to email me or talk to me or message me or tell me anything about the podcast. But I did get a couple people when I brought it up say, "Dick pickle."
Nice.
So yeah,
That'll make the sponsors happy.
yeah, it will. It will. There will be.
I'm glad we got our message across.
There'll be a lot of money for Dick Pickle.
Start some merch.
I think he might be a NASCAR driver, by the way. Anyway,
Ramming speed.
no, that was
Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle.
Yeah.
Different. Should have been Dick Pickle. Anyway,
Dick Trickle and the Dick Pickle car.
prior to recording the Apocalypse segment, Jeremy and I did a Malifaux Demo day at Vendetta Games.
Good times.
Yeah, it was good times. We had Matt.
I was working.
Nobody cares.
As usual.
Nobody cares.
I care.
We had Matt Riddle come out from the Kennesaw area. He brought Weird Matt, which I don't remember what his last name is right off the top of my head, with him, and John and Josh Dean and another gentleman I don't remember, and a nice lady that I met.
She was a nice
She was a nice lady.
Yeah,
she was.
She was very nice. And both her and Weird Matt, work at Weird. And as we found out, we ended up playing the game with one of the designers of the game. That's Weird Matt.
I thought you just meant that there was a Matt up there who was like creepy in the corner, like
Well,
the Unabomber.
Yeah, he was that too.
No, he was not. He was very nice.
Sitting over there with his arms crossed, like.
He didn't do that at all. He was a good dude. We got to talk to him. And Matt Riddle had told me at the beginning, "Oh, that's Weird Matt. He works for Weird." And I went, "Oh, that's cool." And I didn't even think about asking what it was. It wasn't until afterward when we were packing up and going home that Paul was like, "Oh, you're Weird Matt. What do you do for Weird?" And he goes, "I wrote it. I wrote the game." And we're like, "Oh. Shit. Oh, well, fuck. We should have asked him the rules question."
I have to squeeze in all my fanboy in like 10 minutes now.
Yeah, right.
And there I was trying to correct him on the rules. You do this like this, Matt. You do this like this.
I was just going to go over and pee in his shoes, but...
Mark him as your own. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that might work. Mark him as my territory.
Dominance.
But it was cool because he does listen to our podcast, so that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Cut the feed.
Yeah. He did not say Dick Pickle to me. That was Josh, but close enough. He did say he listens to a shit ton of podcasts, and ours is one of them. So I don't know.
That poor man.
Yeah, I don't know whether that means we made the cut or he just really likes podcasts.
Or he just ran out of shit to listen to.
He's like, I have no clue what's good. I'll listen to this podcast. Oh God, it's horrible, but I can't stop listening. Sometimes you have train
Makes
wrecks.
me question his decision-making skills.
It doesn't mind. You should play his game. It's pretty badass. They made a lot of really good decisions there. But anyway, our demo day was fun. It was a big success. A decent amount of people came out and checked out the beautiful miniatures and wonderful gameplay that is Malifaux 3rd Edition, which is very epic and very badass. And we're gonna gush some more about it.
Yes, we are. Big fans.
The last gaming night that we had, we played some Henchman Hardcore.
Yes, we did.
Jeremy and I did, and checked out that format, which there is a tournament at Vendetta on the 11th, which will be this Sunday upcoming.
Be there. Buy some minis.
Or just be there. Or, I'll probably show up at your house and fuck your mom.
I don't live with my mom.
Well,
you'll have to go pick her up first.
Yeah, that's
I'll
a plan.
make sure she's there.
That is a plan. Pick that bitch up. Anyway. Buy her cervix.
Whoa.
Oh,
sir.
Anyway.
You're going to have to go in a nice, deep biological trash can for that one.
Too much.
Hey, you brought it up.
Whatever.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
So, Jeremy, what were your thoughts on Henchman Hardcore?
I thought it was a great format, especially for a more competitive, quicker format that it was. I would highly recommend anybody getting into the game to start there. And when you can consistently get through a game of Henchman Hardcore in around 30 minutes, then move on to the main game. Having the fewer, rather just the only two stratagems that you have access to, the one strategy, the same deployment, style every time, and not having to go through that process as the beginnings of learning the game, I thought was a really good way to go.
Yeah, and it was cool. My thoughts on it, my take on it was that it was cool because you did get to play kind of a quick game and learn the mechanics.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good for demoing, like the card flipping and the mechanics. But when it comes to like playing, or say someone who's bought, like if somebody came to me and said, "Oh, I bought a crew box, what should we do?" I'm going to want to try and play a 30 Soulstone game of Malifaux with them, or, you know, between 30 and 40, depending on what crew they bought. Because then they get to play with their master, they get to have the big boy toys and all that kind of stuff. But if somebody's just like, "I'm interested, how do you play this?" then I think the Henchman Hardcore is great, especially if they're having to borrow some of your models, because you may have, you know, a crew and a half worth of models. You may have a couple henchmen of similar keyword or whatever, so that you can actually, you know, run a Henchman Hardcore with a friend, even if you don't have quite enough models to spare out, and they can learn the mechanics of it. And that was kind of my take on it. I did enjoy it. Adam and I actually played a 50 Soulstone game of Malifaux this last Wednesday, and I played Frycore.
What did he run?
He ran, or no, we played 30. Sorry, and I played Frycore, and he ran 10 Thunders, the monks of High River.
Okay.
Shenlo or Shenlong, or Shenlong, I think.
Schlong?
Yeah, Schlong. He ran Schlong with Sensei Yu, and
Really rolls off the tongue there.
Yeah.
he had a Charm Warder. And
That's
a couple
the other
things.
monk rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Schlong and rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the two gay monks. But anyway, we
Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
had a good game with that, and that crew was not too OP. I will say that, because the Frycore, I mean, he beat me, but the Frycore did okay against it, better than I thought they would. And of course, not knowing how they really work and learning the mechanic of an upgrade master was definitely enlightening. I don't know if that's something I'm going to play regularly, but it was fun. Because it was like, you know, you put out the upgrades and they get to do things, and it's kind of cool. And there were a couple cool moments with, you know, using the upgrades just right. One of the things I really like is you can give them the landmine upgrade, and it's a create, not a place.
Yeah.
Which means it can be under the base.
Yeah.
So I can put it under a model that you may be about to activate, and then when you activate it, you take damage because it's hazardous terrain. Which, of course, your OP bullshit
So you're
Dreamer
throwing
crew.
landmines at people?
Yeah. You just generate a landmine underneath
Kind of a
the
big
guys.
thing to do.
It is.
Which was interesting. I was when we were at the demo day, I got to watch some of it, and I found it really interesting. And it was I forget their names, but it was two players who clearly had played a lot of Malifaux against each other.
Was it Josh and his friend?
The ones that were
next to
sitting
us?
right there, that. And it was one thing I found really interesting was hearing his comments about. I forget what list he had, but it was interesting hearing his opponent's comments about the list and how it was an extremely heavy upgraded list. But not just the fact that it had a heavy amount of upgrades. He tends to move the upgrades around when he plays the list. And it was his frustration that I never know what does what, because you tell me the beginning, but then you forget what was put where. And
Right.
he was really utilizing all these upgrades to their fullest. I think he had like a lot of, a high number of cheap models, and they just had them upgraded to the hilt, left and right and center, to where they had all these little extra things they could do, and he was really making it work for him. Sounded like a lot of fun. I haven't had an opportunity to play a crew like that. It's only going to be a lot of fun.
It is. Marcus does upgrades a little differently than Von Schill, because
Was that what he was running the Marcus crew?
Yeah, he's running Marcus. Because Marcus hands out the mutation upgrades, so he's putting upgrades on these creatures, and Marcus actually has a mechanic where he can move them around, like he was talking about. On Von Schill, you can't really swap them around other than just you put them on something, use it, it's done, and then you can put another upgrade on them next time you activate. And only Von Schill and the Steam Trunk can do a whole lot with upgrades. There's a little bit of other upgrade manipulation in there, but not that much. There's a decent amount of like I snag your power type stuff, like with if you use what's her name, Vanessa, I think. No, whatever her name is, the chick in the robot suit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know why I'm. Yeah, it's Vanessa, because or Hannah.
Hannah, yeah.
Yeah, Hannah. If you're using Hannah, she. I was sitting there thinking about Vanessa Chambers and Victoria Chambers, but no, it's Hannah. But she does some cool stuff where she can like snag a bonus action and use it for her own and do some interesting things like that. The only thing that annoys me whenever you have all those conditions on an ability is until you learn the crew, I keep like going, oh man, I'm gonna do this, and then I like reread it and go, oh wait, no, fuck, there's limitations, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I have to do it this way, and that was what I planned on doing, and now I can't, and so I kind of neuter myself.
More than you already are?
Yeah. It goes. I go from like an inch to maybe half an inch.
That's not really neutering.
Yeah. I mean,
neutering has nothing to do with the dick portion.
I mean, close enough.
It's pretty close.
It's metaphorical here.
Like geographically, it's close, but
this is metaphor, sir.
Metaphor?
Yeah, you don't understand metaphor.
Or simile.
It's metaphor.
Metaphor.
You don't understand metaphor.
Metaphor.
Shut up.
Meta level 4.
No, it's not what I said at all.
That's what I heard. I keep getting distracted by this bright blue light.
Shut up.
There are sponsors. Don't
I
tell me
know.
to shut up.
Bright blue light. Drink until I tell you to stop.
Well, hopefully it's soon because I'm almost done here.
Well, yeah, you get to keep drinking because maybe it'll make you shut up for a little while.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You've never seen me drunk, have you?
No, I haven't.
Very few people have.
But that was a lot of fun doing the upgrades, and some of them were really cool. Rocket Boots was probably one of my more favorite because it gives you kind of a free leap.
Like butterfly jump?
No, it's Rocket Boots. It's one of the upgrades. It gives you a free leap.
So like a free movement?
Kind of. It's a leap, so you actually have to do a simple duel to do it. And I believe it's 6 or 8 inches. You can just basically place forward. I think it's 6. You can place forward. But the cool thing about that upgrade is it lets you, if I remember correctly, it lets you take an action even if you've already activated after you. So you can basically place the upgrade and use it right away. So you can literally be like, oh, that guy, he's getting engaged. He needs rocket boots. And boop.
Oh,
and,
that's sweet.
And,
getting engaged.
And, jump him out of combat.
When's the wedding?
Tomorrow. You're not invited.
I'll sneak you in.
And you can
I'll
jump.
be his +1.
Yeah, no, you won't. you can jump him out of combat that way and stuff like that. So there's a lot of cool uses for it, and I think it's pretty neat. So I enjoyed messing around with that crew some, but I don't think it has the oomph to take on your OP Dreamer bullshit crew.
You love that crew.
I love to try and figure out how to kill it.
Well, you have. What's his name?
Leviticus.
Leviticus. He did just fine against him.
Right, but I want to find, other ways to kill it.
Blowtorch.
I found one way to kill it. Now I got to find others. Because I'm not just going to sit there and play Leviticus all the time.
Wow.
You can't play models if they're on fire.
Now, that'd be a hardcore way to play the game. I think we'd have to go back to pewter.
Table's on fire. Go.
I have actually, said I'll buy a little flamethrower and I'll torch the models that die. Before.
No, you torch him while he puts them on the table. That way you don't have to play against him. You win.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is he puts his models on the table and I'm like, oh, I attacked it with fire. I rolled 6s. Yeah. Or flipped a severe, whatever you want to say.
I was like, well, this is Malifaux. I know that.
I mean,
there's no dice involved.
It wouldn't matter at that point. You'd be burning his model. It wouldn't matter what the fuck you had, dice or not dice.
Start rolling dice because you just burned his model of shit.
Yeah, basically.
Whole place is burning down, but fuck it.
Yeah.
But fuck it.
But fuck it. That'll be another sponsor one day.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're reaching now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's on your Malifaux plans?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the tournament for Henchman Hardcore
Yeah.
and getting into that, going through the models that I have and figuring out which crew I want to run with, where I want to try to go to the schemy side or the, smash your face inside and see what goes with that. But looking forward to playing it in a competitive format like that, where the game, quick game and then moving on to the next one. And finally getting around to painting Hinamatsu. I'm thinking about bringing her as my henchman for that one.
You should not paint that model.
I should not paint that model.
No,
ever. Don't ever paint her.
Yeah, because if
you already hate her enough.
If she's painted, I'll feel bad about lighting her on fire.
Aw,
why?
Well, I don't want you feeling good about it. So now I have to paint her well.
Don't.
That's when you get the spatula and the house paint.
Yeah. Food dye and spackle and just cover her up with it.
I've seen models that I think were painted that way.
Yeah.
I'm sitting right here. That was mean.
Yeah, you suck.
Damn.
That and I actually met up with Nick at Vendetta yesterday,
Oh, yeah.
and I played a little quickie game again of like 30 soul stones with him to teach him how to play. And I used the Bass crew, the new Guild Explorers dual faction.
How were they?
Stuff. They were cool. I don't think I wasn't really trying to maximize everything with the crew because I was teaching Nick how to play. But they can almost like every model in that crew can throw out concealing terrain, a dust cloud. So they can
Interesting.
So you can
everywhere.
Yeah, you can literally throw out these you can move and throw out concealing terrain as a bonus action. So you can literally just have smoke screen.
Fun.
So it's good against like ranged crews and things like that. Anything that needs line of sight, because if you are targeting me with any kind of ranged attack, anything with a gun on it, you get concealment. And if it's concealing and because if it's concealing and you're on one side and I'm on the other, then you can't see me at all.
Yes, that's how concealment works.
Well, the terrain rules in Malifaux are a little different, jackass. If I'm standing in the dust cloud, or you're standing in the dust cloud, then you can see into and out of it. Mm-hmm. But you can't see through it.
And they can actually like create it right up underneath them? Or is it place?
I believe
drop?
I believe it is a place. So you have to place it in open areas. But if I
So you can place it in contact with you, though. You just can't create it underneath
you cannot do a place in base contact with another model.
I thought you could with place.
Nope. Create you can, but you can't with place. But you can place it, but like your Dreamer crew, if you have, Hinamatsu and her fucking lure that I hate, she's got to have line of sight.
She does.
And so if I move my model forward and place that between me and Hinamatsu, you can't target my model.
No.
And I didn't quite realize, some of that I didn't quite realize because I wasn't going, I wasn't being super rulesy. And
so then she could just charge into your concealing terrain.
Well, yeah, she could charge through it because you don't have to have a target to charge through it. But it is also, I believe it's concealing, severe, and maybe hazardous too.
Wow.
So yeah, but it has no specific condition. So it's just it's basically hazardous 1. You take 1 damage.
Yeah.
And so it's like whoop-de-doo. And half the incorporeal will negate it to 0.
Well, incorporeal only affects attack actions.
Okay, yeah,
that's
right.
it. It's strong because it can reduce it to 0, but it's limited in the fact that it's only attack actions. Where armor affects everything, but it can't reduce things to 0.
And I may be wrong about the hazardous, but I know it is severe and concealing. Mm-hmm. And so severe will half your movement.
Yeah.
So what'll happen is that when
as soon as you make contact, you're.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you charge and you have an inch to the terrain and you hit the terrain with 6 inches of movement, you're down to 3 right there. And so it's a 50 millimeter marker. You're going to get through it with 3, but you may not get to my model on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and all those persist till the end of turn. So, like I said, they may not be hazardous, so that you can actually move into them and shoot out of them and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into more of the lore of the new faction because I haven't really read too much about it, but it seems really interesting.
There's not much out yet.
Yeah.
So it'll be once they start releasing the faction.
That's why I haven't read much.
No.
I've only read a little.
Now, I did order, much to your happiness, because you're going to have to play against them, and they might be actually good against the Dreamer crew. I did order the Brine and Bones for the Gen Con Spectacular. So I'll have Molly.
Oh!
Because Brine and Bones counts as Molly. And so all of her stuff is counts as Molly. I was able to get Brine and Bones and an Archie. And so I'll have probably a decent sized little crew there. I might have to pick up a few other Reser models to throw in with it from her keyword.
Yeah, she looks fun.
Yeah, she does. And so and that crew is just beautifully sculpted and amazing and wonderful.
Yeah, it's real pretty.
Yep, piratey stuff.
Arr.
And Archie is like a cross between
Zombie pirates.
Yeah. Archie's basically a cross between
Without Johnny Depp.
I was about to say, where?
Archie is basically a cross between Sloth
Brought to you by Random Tangents.
from Goonies and some like Cthulhuid creature.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like to me anyway.
I'm glad we went down that rabbit hole with you, Eric.
Shut the fuck up.
God, you're so mean.
I know. It's what I get paid to
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
do. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Why's everything got to be a travesty with you, McLean?
Well, it goes back to my childhood. Oh, that wasn't a...
No.
That wasn't an actual
That was
question.
rhetorical.
It was rhetorical,
I really don't want to
yeah.
know.
Well,
Whatever
you shouldn't
it
ask
was.
questions you don't want answers to, Eric. We've been over this.
Well, that's why it's called a rhetorical question. You're supposed to know that. It's called social
Well,
cues.
that's why you're supposed to say rhetorical question before you say
It's
it.
not my fault you have Asperger's.
It's not as funny then though.
Wow. How can you make fun of somebody's disability like that?
I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying,
It hurts my feelers.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Yeah. I'm
What
not
is-
stupid.
What are those?
Yeah. Who cares about those?
Hungry or horny? Those are my two feelings.
I don't doubt it. He's tried to have sex with my cats before. It was
Well,
weird.
And
if
he
they would
ate 'em.
stop clawing, it would go much smoother.
Yeah, right? That's what everybody says. Those damn cats always playing hard to get.
God. No means no.
Some days.
Oh, Lord.
So what have you been doing?
That got dark. Oh. I've been working on my Emperor's Spears project. I read Spears of the Emperor by Aaron Dembski Bowden, my boy.
Yeah.
One of my favorite black library, actually my favorite black library writer.
He's my second favorite.
He is my absolute favorite.
Dan Abnett will always be my fanboy favorite, but ADB is like second.
I like ADB just because he's straight to the point and he gets the point across very well.
Yeah, he does.
But I was reading Spears of the Emperor, and ever since then I was just like, damn, I'm gonna have to make a fucking Primaris army now.
Yeah?
Son of a bitch.
You guys know a lot more about the lore of Warhammer than I do. How do you guys
Yeah.
feel about the Eisenhorn? Was it TV adaptation or movie?
Yes! Fuck yeah!
I love Eisenhorn. He's my boy.
Yeah, I'll have to. In fact, actually, the book is on the shelf,
Right.
and I'll have to let you borrow it because it is an amazing piece of fiction.
It's great.
Just in
It is
general.
great.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Even if
writing.
you don't know anything about Warhammer, you can read the entirety of the Eisenhorn novels and
Yeah.
still get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. And
Just as a straight science fiction.
you know, somebody posted in one of the comments on the threads that they wanted to see what's his name, Hugo Weaving play Eisenhorn, and I was like, man, that guy would be like perfect. He even looks like the cover art.
Yeah,
Like I'm like
he does.
you get him to figure out how to give him that Bell's palsy after midway through the
Yep.
show, and then he's
So he
got
can
it.
be expressionless the entire time.
Eisenhorn's not
Yeah.
fully expressionless. In midway through his story, things happen and he gets half of his face paralyzed. And so it talks about how like sometimes he tries to like bring levity a little bit and smile, and it doesn't.
But it's just
work.
weird.
He's just like
It's just weird for everybody in the room.
I'm all shook up.
yeah. But yeah, it is awesome writing. And then I mean, man, even the Magos was amazing.
Yeah,
shit.
that was great.
And I love that Dan Abnett brings in just like the way he brings in and adds in stuff from like the Cthulhu mythos into like the Eisenhorn thing. Mm-hmm. Just is creepy as fuck. Mm-hmm. The whole like Carcosa and the maze out of time and all that kind of shit.
I love
amazing.
I love Dan Abnett when he writes about humans and stuff, Space Marines so much. I'm like, eh.
Yeah, because I mean his best books are the Gonsko series,
yep.
Eisenhorn, Ravenor stuff, Pariah, and then actually Titanicus and the one Double Eagle, the one about the Aeronautica Imperialis. Yeah, those are like by far his best stories.
Yes.
And like, because I mean, like Aeronautica Imperialis, I'm like, I would be like seeing the scenes in my head in like grainy, like kind of almost black and white.
He describes
World War II
stuff
style
where you
film.
can like taste it. You can taste the air. It's amazing.
Yeah,
But-
he's a great writer. He's also known as he wrote the Guardians of the Galaxy comics and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it was part of that. He had some stuff to do with the movie, I believe. I'm not sure how much, but
Aaron Dembski Bowden is still my favorite.
yeah, he's right. He's right up there with Dan Abnett. It's hard to pick.
Like every novel that he writes, I love. I read it about 3 or 4 times.
And I will agree, his Space Marine stuff
Is great.
was
I read
is
the
better
Talon
than
of
Abnett's. Yeah.
I read the Talon of Horus in literally one sitting.
Oh, dude, yeah, Talon of Horus, and then the
Black Legion.
Black Legion. Mm-hmm. Those 2 books are spectacular.
Awesome. But anyway, I'm working on my Emperor Spear project. It's 30 intercessors, so nobody does it. It's 30 intercessors, and I'm doing a whole bunch of freehand with it and everything. So
Nice.
because they all have runic armor. I love the Emperor, the way he portrayed the Emperor Spears, because they're a chapter that comes from the Ultramarines, but they hate the Ultramarines
Yeah,
because they left them to die.
understandable.
Basically. So now they're all barbarians and everything, and they've regressed so much that they don't even follow the codex, and they made up their own and everything, and it's like their own fuck you to Gilliman, which I'm all about.
Yeah. So, can you do me some podcast homework?
What's that?
I want you to post some of these works in progress on our BD and SM Drunkards.
I did. You didn't see my aggressors?
No. I
Yeah, they're up there.
If it gets posted on like a Saturday, I'm probably not gonna see it,
I got aggressors up there.
because like
My
this
color
Saturday
scheme.
I spent 11 and a half hours tattooing straight,
Yeah.
one person after the other, pretty much. So I didn't get a chance to look at shit.
And I'm working on my because they have a High King as a chapter master. That's
Yeah.
what he's called. And I'm working on him right now. He's a conversion,
Well, that's cool.
so he's looking pretty legit.
Yep.
I'm pretty
And-
excited about it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to finish up my Outcasts with
That's a fun crew.
faction,
Yeah.
because it's multiple crews.
God, Jeremy, get your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
No.
He
I'm
likes
in
it.
there.
He likes it there. It's water.
It's nice.
Has a nice smell.
It's delicious.
Poopery.
But I finished up all the Victoria's crew. I finished up. I already had Leviticus done, and I also finished up Parker Barrows. And I got to do the Frycore, and then I got to build Jackdaw, and that'll be, I think, everything. The only crew I don't have, and I don't have interest in getting of the Outcast, is Hamlin. Because I don't give 2 shits about him and his plague and his rats. I may eventually, just to be a completist, but I don't care. He's basically like the Nurgle of that, and I'm so sick of Nurgle from 40K that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I'll get that one then.
Maybe you will,
Maybe I will.
and you'll smell like doo-doo.
Pew.
Poop, poop.
They go pew.
Pew, pew.
Their guns actually sound like pew.
They should. I don't know whose guns you're talking about.
Pew. Because they smell.
Rats with
Get it?
guns. I love it.
Ah. But I'm pumped.
God, stop talking.
No. It's my one joy in life.
There have been some news and updates. Most of the there's actually several of the re-release of the core boxes coming out this month in August for Malifaux. Some of the other stuff that, like I said, Warcry just came out right now at the beginning of the month. That's basically the kill team. And along with that, right now up for pre-order is several of the extra war bands for Warcry. I really want to get the birds, the Corvus dudes.
Yeah, I haven't looked into Warcry very much.
Yeah, they look really, really cool, and they look super awesome, and pretty much it's kind of a unanimous that's the coolest looking crew. Mm-hmm. Or, well, not crew, but warband for the Warcry. It's the Corvus Cabal, because they're all weird little raven skull wearing dudes.
Yeah.
And
little bird people.
yeah, but I'm not because wow, that woke me up. I'm the main reason I got the Warcry set was more for the terrain than anything else.
No, it has some great pieces of terrain in it.
Yeah, and the terrain is actually it's the first bits of terrain from GW that I've seen that I'm like, I can actually use this for Malifaux as well.
The Warcry models that come in that starter set kind of annoy me. Like the actual models, because they're all monopose. Right? You have to build them a specific way.
Okay.
Why do you have to build them?
Nobody.
Why can't they just come completed if they're only going to be one way?
I mean,
just send me a body and some arms if you're going to do that.
Have you played other miniature games ever?
Yeah, but that annoys me too.
I mean,
but they do it so much, and I'm just like, they make what could be a 4-thing part, and they turn it into 15 pieces, and I'm like, I hate building stuff though, so.
Yeah, I mean, you know
I like
what?
the building.
Yeah, I like the building too. Build Malifaux, because literally nothing has feet on it. You got to put the.
You keep telling me that, but yeah. I keep telling you the same thing.
Sensei Yu, Adam was telling me, and then I saw somebody post it on a weird place. Literally, he is a complete miniature. Other than the fact they cut his feet off, and his feet are on either side of him on the sprue, and it's like,
why?
Why not just leave the fuck
you
on?
To me.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
you've got, and he's a dude. He's standing there with his fist on his hips, like in a kung fu master pose, and he's got the baggy kung fu pants on and no shirt. So it's like, it's not like you were trying not to get his feet to stick out of the sprue too far or anything, because they would have been underneath his pants leg for the most part. So why in the flying horse shit did you bother to cut his fucking feet off?
Those Insidious Madness from Malifaux was the most difficult models I've built so far. I mean, by far.
The Reva crew, I think it's the Lampads. It's either the Lampads or one of the other models in there, where you're literally having to put like 12 pieces of fire together and figure out how they fit together.
I built a Night Castigator without instructions. That was a pain in the dick.
I mean, I can imagine, but these don't have instructions either.
I was like, okay, let's go ahead and dry fit everything. And there's like little rods that you fit together for their feet, and I'm just like, there could be so many other things I could be doing with my life right now. I'm fitting little rods together to put the feet.
But yeah, I can tell you, man, that those were no fun. No fun at all. So yeah. So Henchman Hardcore, all that stuff is going to be cool.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yep. And I haven't seen any more, like any other too big releases for like the other side or anything like that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything coming out for the other side recently.
Other than stuff releasing that they've already announced.
Mm-hmm.
They're re-releasing the Space Marine Codex.
Yeah, they are doing that. They're re-releasing the Space Marine Codex as like one. It's like one generic codex, and then they're releasing supplements of each chapter,
which I think is awesome. Honestly, I'm very excited about that.
It is now. Have you heard if you need the Space Marine Codex and whatever supplement, or you can just buy whatever supplement?
You probably, the way I'm imagining is the Space Marine Codex is going to have all your generic stuff in it, and then your supplement is going to have all your special stuff in it, like your special war gear and stuff. So if you don't have a special one that you're married to that you want to read about, you can just take the Space Marine Codex and probably be good.
Right. But if you want to play Ultramarines or you want to play White Scars, you have to buy both books.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which I'm not really. I like buying books more than I like paying for models that are overpriced, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, we know. That's
what about that new Dreadnought thing? Did you see that stupid thing?
I actually like it.
It looks retarded.
No, it doesn't.
Grey Knights just lost another thing that they had special.
I mean, it doesn't.
Now Space Marines have a baby carriage.
I mean, it's not as retarded looking as like I like the fact he's actually like in kind of a framed cockpit instead of like
with a roll cage while he's in armored ceramite. Yeah, that seems great.
I mean, why not? And,
I don't
and then,
get it.
You know, and then like every other one, like the Nemesis Dreadnought and stuff, they literally have just stapled the guy to the front of the damn thing, and they're like, "Yeah, pilot it." You know, it's like, I mean, no, he's got a little, you know, cockpit in there that he's running around. I mean, he's got a roll cage or whatever.
I'm not really about it.
I happen to like it just because it's different, it's cool, but it also kind of fits in with some of the conventional kind of sci-fi stuff. And I've actually honestly always thought, well, you have the technology to make dreadnoughts, but only so many Marines that get seriously injured can become dreadnoughts. Why don't you make a dreadnought that can be piloted by a non-dead, half-dead Marine, and then have a little bit more battlefield superiority with dreadnoughts? Just kind of, you know, my thinking.
Why? You can just bomb it from orbit or hit it with a chain axe.
Shut up. Anyway.
Jeez.
Diplomacy.
Amateur hour over here.
Yeah.
Try diplomacy.
You could always try diplomacy.
What's that? How do you spell that? How hard do you have to hit diplomacy for it to work?
Hard.
Yeah, very hard. Anyway, I think we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to yap about Warcry.
Yeah. Looking forward to hearing about that.
Yeah, me too.
My nights.
And we're back. Yeah, we're back.
We are.
From our stupid break that wasn't a break. That could have been a break, but not a break. So anyway,
yeah,
we're going to be talking about this here, Warcry. Woo! This is, it's a neat little box set that you can get from GW for $170 US retail. Comes with a little battle mat and some fancy terrain and all the cards you need to play the game for the most part.
Is the battle mat neoprene or is it
no, it's I think it's the cardboardy stuff like the Kill Team ones.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it yet, but I know it's not neoprene. It has a little bit of lore in the book, and it's actually a really well done book, like most GW books are. So basically, it's interesting because it goes in depth into battlefield and battle plan setup and everything, and that you're actually using like it looks like you're using like a terrain deck and stuff like that to kind of figure out how you place your terrain on the map and all that kind of stuff. It makes me think a lot of Malifaux with their encounter setup, deployment card, victory card, all your
hate
rules,
hate does
twist.
that.
Yeah.
For every...
Or, like, was it Infinity?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's got the predetermined...
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just with those tutorial missions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, normally you can set up the battlefield any way you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Hate has predetermined deployments and terrain setup as well, so...
Mm-hmm. You have 3 main phases in the battle round. The hero phase, the reserve phase, and the combat phase. And in the hero phase... you basically roll 6 dice, and they're referred to as initiative dice. After rolling initiative dice, each player counts any singles. A single is a dice that does not have a matching score on any other dice in that player's roll. The player with the most singles has the initiative. In the case of a tie, the players roll off and the winner has initiative. Now this is kind of interesting because it does a cool thing with the game mechanic, and it sounds a little rulesy, but I think it actually flows quick. The remaining dice are referred to as ability dice and can be used to perform abilities in the combat phase. If 2 of your ability dice have the same score, it is referred to as a double. If 3 of your ability dice have the same score, triple. If 4 or more, you have a quad. At the start of each battle dice, any remaining singles and ability dice from the previous battle round are discarded. So basically, you keep your doubles, and they let you power abilities during the game. So you may get to go first, but you probably won't be able to power as many abilities. So it offsets. So the guy who goes second can do more special abilities than you.
I like that.
Yeah. So it gives you a bonus no matter where you're going. After the initiative has been determined, each player receives 1 wild dice. A wild dice is an extra dice that can be used during the hero phase to add to either a player's singles or ability dice. The player with the initiative first declares how they will use any of their wild dice, followed by the player who does not have the initiative. Wild dice can be used in the following ways. It can add 1 to the number of singles the player has. In this case, it does not matter what the value of the wild dice is. Any number of wild dice can be used this way. Wild dice can be used to turn 1 of your singles into a double, or improve a double to a triple, or a triple to a quad. In this case, the value of the wild dice is set to match the value of the single ability dice it is paired with. You cannot add multiple wild dice to the same single or same ability dice. You cannot turn a double into a quad. You can only use them once per battle, and you can seize the initiative. The next phase is the reserve phase. It comes into play during every battle round after the first. So in the first battle round, you won't do the reserve phase. Basically, reserve battle groups may be set up on the battlefield. The deployment card will indicate in which battle round any reserve battle groups come into play. RND2 indicates the battle group will arrive in the reserve phase of the second battle round. RND3 will be a third, and so on. Starting with the player with initiative, players set up the fighters from any battle groups coming into play in that battle round wholly within 3 inches horizontally, but any distance vertically of their deployment point. Some deployment cards have reserved deployment points that are situated off the battlefield map. In these cases, there will be a deployment line. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. Okay, in the combat phase, players take it in turns to activate their fighters. The player with the initiative picks which player takes the first turn.
Players will take it in turns.
Yeah, they will. When it is a player's turn, they can activate 1 fighter in their warband. This is referred to as that fighter's activation. The player must pick 1 fighter to activate if they can, but cannot pick a fighter that is already activated. If the player cannot pick a fighter, they must pass instead. Then their opponent can activate 1 fighter or pass. Keep on taking turns to activate fighters until both players pass one after the other. So basically, if I pass and then you decide to pass, then that ends the turn.
Turn's over.
Actions: when player activates a fighter, the fighter makes 2 actions chosen from the list below, which is move, attack, disengage, and wait. Carry out the first action before deciding on the second. A fighter can make the same action twice in a row if you wish. For example, a move action can be followed by a move action. Each of these actions is described in detail later. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yep. And then you have abilities. Basically, if you have sufficient ability dice, you can activate different abilities. So there's universal abilities, like on a double you can rush, which is add 1, or an onslaught, add 1 to the attacks characteristics. Sorry, the rush is add 1 to move. Add 1 to attacks is the onslaught. A triple will let you do a respite. A fighter cannot use his ability if they're within 1 inch of any enemy fighters. Remove a number of damage points allocated to this fighter equal to the value of this ability. And apparently you have things like 15, 20 wounds and crap on your fighters, so they take damage because there's no saves.
Oh, interesting.
You like roll to hit or whatever, I think. Quad is rampage. The fighter makes a bonus move action, then they can make a bonus attack action. So quads are really powerful. And that's universal stuff, and then different fighters will have different stuff on their card that they can do as well with their doubles, triples, and quads. So it sounds cool. And then, of course, you have your standard moving and jumping and doing all that kind of stuff, climbing, flying. It looks like it's a lot of the standard, Games Workshop movement rules. Attack actions, you pick a weapon and target. You have to check your range. Then you roll to hit.
Yeah, because this Age of Sigmar, you don't have to be in base to base or within an inch.
Right.
Correct. Because you can have longer range weapons, like 3 inches.
Yeah, it can be a 2-inch range for the polearm, and it's like engagement in Malifaux, basically, because it's whatever the range is. Roll to hit. Roll a number of dice equal to the attack's characteristic of the weapon being used to make the attack action that is referred to the hit roll. Let's see, scored a hit, scored a critical hit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so basically it has this table. If strength is greater than toughness, then you hit on a 3 through 5, and a critical hit is a 6. If strength is equal to toughness, it's a 4 through 5 with a 6 being critical. And strength is lower than toughness, it's a 5 with a 6 being critical. So basically it's the same as most of your GW stuff. 3 up if your strength is greater than the opponent's toughness, 4 up if strength is equal.
6th edition.
Yeah. 5 up if it's lower.
6th edition Warhammer.
Disengage is if a fighter's within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, they can make a disengage action to move away. Make a normal move up to 3 inches in any direction, but must finish that action more than 1 inch away from any enemy fighters. So you just kind of get the disengage. There's nothing to really try and stop you, I guess. If wait action. If a wait action can be used in 2 ways. If a fighter makes the wait action as their last action in their activation ends. The wait action is used in this manner simply when the fighter has nothing else to do. For example, if they're not in range and do not wish to move. If a fighter uses the wait action as their first action in their activation, the fighter is said to be waiting. Place a wait token by the fighter to indicate it is waiting. If a fighter makes a wait action in this manner, the activation ends, but the fighter can be activated once more later in the combat phase. When that fighter is activated for the second time, they can only make 1 action. So it's like a ready and kill team, but more based for less shooty, more slappy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give them the pibbity paps.
Pibbity paps. And then of course they have, they do have terrain rules with stairs and ladders and jumping around and things. And then it goes into, chaotic beasts, thrall. The chaotic beasts are cool because during the game you can have these chaotic beasts come into play.
Yeah, because it's a campaign.
Right.
It's run as a campaign.
Yeah, it belongs to no player's warband. Chaotic beasts will come into play during a battle when the twist cards with wild creatures rune mark are drawn. Like all other fighters, chaotic beasts each have a fighter card that details their characteristics. I think.
Bless you.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. So basically, you can roll off to activate. When it is a player's turn to choose a fighter from their warband to activate, they can instead choose a chaotic beast that is not yet activated. When they do so, the player first rolls a dice. On a 3 through 6, they can activate that chaotic beast as normal. On a 1 through 2, their opponent can instead activate the chaotic beast.
Out of town.
So basically, there's a 30. If you choose one, there's a 30% chance the other guy gets to activate it, and then can do whatever they want with it. Come at you instead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then you have thralls. It's campaign battle stuff. I don't know what the thralls really mess with. I'm not getting into all that crap. They have all these rune marks, and of course you have like open play where you can kind of do whatever, narrative play,
usual GW stuff.
Yeah, open, and then you have the warband roster and aftermath for doing the campaign stuff, match play, and all that. It looks like it's actually a lot of fun and campaign stuff, which looks like it brings in a lot more of the RPG aspect. And then of course they do have rules in the book for literally all the, Night Haunt, Stormcast Eternals, Legions of Nagash.
Are those in the book?
Boomspike Gits, Flesh Eater Courts, Iron Jaws, Daughters of Cain. It has all the different stuff for putting them in there. And I think you have to buy the cards for those specific factions, but it has like the name generators and abilities and stuff like that they can get.
Just get 40 skeletons.
Yeah. Yeah, because why not?
Eat my skeleton horde.
But it looks...
I like it.
Yeah. It looks like it's cool.
Call it Team Boner.
No.
It had to be said.
Team Boner Fart.
No, I like Team Boner better.
Boner Fart.
Dick Queef?
Yeah, Dick Queef.
There you go.
But it looks like...
You just destroyed something beautiful.
Who didn't? One of the things I will say is that it to me, things like this coming out show that Games Workshop is experimenting with a lot of different rules and games design stuff to try and bring a lot of their games design more into a modern era. Because I don't know a single person, the biggest Warhammer 40K fanboy on the planet will tell you that their rules system is a wee bit outdated.
Yeah.
Compared to other games out there and what's going on and how people are wanting to play games and what kind of games they're wanting to see, it's a little on the meh end. Their models are beautiful.
Yeah.
I think their narrative and their lore is beautiful and amazing. I enjoy their products. They put together a well put out product.
Put out.
Yeah.
They put out real good.
Like a prom date. They do a lot of good stuff with what they're doing. And I mean, a very polished, very nice thing. They do give you, they gave you a ton of shit in the starter box. It's really cool.
No, it's a solid starter box, I think.
Yeah. I mean, most of their boxes are. Like the Apocalypse box.
The Apocalypse boxes were great.
Yeah.
I bought one.
Yeah, I mean, even for those that complain about, it's $100 for this, just some rules, it's like, but you get all these cards, you get everything you need, you get all the dice, you really
That's
don't
like people
need
complaining about the
models.
Apocalypse box. I was like, really?
Yeah.
It's an entire game.
Right. You're getting an entire game, $100, you should already have the models. That's why they didn't put anything else in there. Yeah. And so it works great.
I just didn't feel like, to me, it seems like Apocalypse was supposed to be streamlining the game in a way, but it didn't really seem that streamlined to me. It just
That's because
seemed
they're using more models.
Well, no, even the action of play. I mean, yeah, you vary all activations rather, but you still kind of go through all the same processes. It just kind of speeds things up.
Well, actually,
I don't even see where it speeds things up at all.
Well, here's how it speeds things up. It does not speed things up from the perspective of going from regular Warhammer 40K to Apocalypse.
Yes.
Because a regular Warhammer 40K game, we'll say played casually at 2,000 points is going to be about 3.5 hours. I mean, tournament play, yeah, those guys are playing quick and fast and they're knowing their rules and playing tight. Most of us don't play that way. So we're going to say 3.5-ish hours. A regular Apocalypse game prior to this rule set was all day. It was
or 2
9
days.
hours.
Yeah.
Or 2 days.
Depending on how many points. But we'll just say the average points, most people, that played Apocalypse games, were playing 8-9 hours.
The last Apocalypse game that we had at Vendetta, I was running the Chaos side, and we had 10,000 points aside, which is probably right around maybe 450 power level.
Yeah.
In Apocalypse. And that took us a full weekend. Like, we showed up at 10 o'clock and we left at 9 o'clock.
both what? Saturday and
both
Sunday?
days.
Of both days.
Of Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. And that is Apocalypse. That was Apocalypse. Now, they came out with this rule set and said, here's everything you need to use your Apocalypse armies that you've already got and have been playing with, to use them under these new rule set, and based on this rule set, you're going to play that same, 450 power level game.
I could play it in we could play it probably
about what, 5 hours?
Yeah, 5-6 hours.
So a fraction of the time when you go from, okay, you're playing from, what'd you say, 10 to 11?
Yeah, 10 to 9.
10 to 9. So you're 11 hours, so 22 hours to play a 10,000 point Apocalypse game. Versus the 450 power level, which is the same models and everything like that, similar army list, and you've gone from 22 hours down to 5.
Okay.
You're literally playing in about a quarter of the time of an Apocalypse game.
And I love playing with all my models, so I love this. Like, I love seeing an entire army on the table. Not 2,000 point army, an entire army.
Yeah, an actual real size army.
An entire chapter on the table. That's amazing.
And that's what makes me really enjoy the Apocalypse format. And once I get done with enough of my other crap that I'm doing for Malifaux and Wild West Exodus and all that stuff, I'm going to get my Apocalypse army together, make sure everything's built at least, and then I want to throw down with an Apocalypse game and see how it goes.
Well, I have right around 30,000 points of Chaos, so...
And you can play Apocalypse at essentially, what is it? You can What's the minimum they say?
They say their minimum is 300, but you could play it even lower than that. You could play a normal 40K game in the Apocalypse rules.
Right. I was going to say, you can play a 100 power level game under the Apocalypse rule set because you're going to have 3 detachments.
And it would be like a skirmish game.
Yeah.
It'd take maybe an hour.
No.
It might be a little bit longer just because, I mean, depending on if you're using movement trays and models and stuff like that. But if you take time and bugger around a little bit, but I'd say maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 hours at most. I mean, it
would cut your time in half, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, that would be playing that under regular Apocalypse rules. And, maybe even quicker. You never know. So, yeah, it seems like it'd be pretty cool.
Well, I like it because it's purely narrative driven.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these guys just got blown the shit out of them just because you rolled 4 dice really well. I love that. It's like, oh shit, they got a hot target and it was not their day. That's what I like about playing Warhammer. I don't like it's like, okay, well, let's see if everybody's lined up in this window. Yeah, no. Because you have to think about it. They're actually moving around to window. They're not retarded.
Right.
These are highly trained soldiers. They're going around.
They're not static.
Exactly. I don't like the whole, that's where that person is right there. 100% of the time. He would not be over here next to this ledge at all.
See, and that's one of the things in the Infinity rule set. I like that because when you're declaring your combat actions, you basically, I'm moving, and you basically move your model along the full path, and then you can declare their, second action anytime along that movement path. Mm-hmm. So you can have a guy peek out around a corner and jump back, and basically if you do it right, you're still getting cover, even though the other guy gets to make a reaction on you because he sees you and he gets to shoot back at you.
The pop-out game, I love it.
Right. But you're getting back there. And so they actually created instead of just saying, well, you can just see enough of this model and do this, and then you get that. Because he's wiggling around, they actually said, no, you can wiggle your model around, and it's gonna do this for you. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I don't like the whole, oh yeah, well, this guy isn't in cover, but these 4 guys of his squad are. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. The whole squad would be in cover. I know how this works. I'm not retarded.
Right.
This person's been fighting for 10,000 years, and you're telling me that he doesn't know how to get cover. You're...
You stupid.
You know my intent, damn it.
Right. So, anyway, yeah, that was... it looks a lot of fun. It looks like there's going to be some cool things and some new, neat games to try on occasion, but... Unfortunately, I get sucked into damn, I want to play this Malifaux crew. Because that's what it's about.
I get sucked into random games all the time, I understand.
Yeah. It's horrible. Like I've been geeking about Wild West Exodus and have yet to play a game on that, so I'll have to do that sometime.
Well, I just bought X-Wing, so...
the new edition?
Yeah.
I'm very curious to play it, so I'm kind of glad you bought it, because I'd like to try it out one time.
Yeah, I bought it.
And
it looked really cool, and I was like, I like flying ships around and stuff. I really like Battlefleet. So
yeah, the first.
So is this like a complete game, or is it a collect models?
No, it's a complete game. Like I literally spent $100, and I have everything I need to play.
Yeah, and it's
and then some.
The original version of X-Wing, which is a Fantasy Flight game, my only issue with the Fantasy Flight stuff is there's so many little tokens, and they give you weird proprietary dice and all that kind of stuff. So I like their games, but they're kind of annoying to me at the same time. And I enjoyed X-Wing, and it was fun to play around with, but it just didn't grab me. It was like Star Wars Legion. It was a good game, but it just didn't grab me and make me want to keep playing it.
Legion didn't really grab me.
Legion, its problem was they didn't release fast enough.
They didn't.
Everybody was playing. It was the same thing to Titanicus.
Right.
Everybody was playing the same thing. As you got a warlord and 3 knights.
Well, I mean, yeah, in the Grandmaster Edition, which actually that's not even a legal mana pool to play.
No, it's not.
And that's why everybody now is like, well, if you want to get into Titanicus, don't buy the Grandmaster Edition, which is true. You don't need to.
That was a terrible box set.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good value.
Yes, it was a very good value.
And you got cool shit in it. But it was not good in that it did not have everything you need to play.
Yeah.
Because you still needed more Titans, you still needed more other things.
Well, they were rushed to get it out because everything wasn't done and everything.
Right.
They're like, oh, we've been waiting for this for 2 years. We need it now.
Yep, got pushed forward.
Yeah. But
So-
I'm excited to get into X-Wing. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the mechanics of it. It's a lot more gamey, I guess.
Streamlined or...
No, not streamlined, but I don't really care about the Star Wars narrative. I just want to fly ships around.
You don't have the Battlestar Galactica game.
No, I don't.
I do. I have that.
No. Okay.
And they actually use true space physics in their flight model.
You have to be an astrophysicist to be able to play it.
No, basically, as you move your ship, you have the little movement
You
dials.
drift off.
Yeah, and basically, if you bump your thrust up, and then you need to stop, it'll only go down the next time you activate the ship. It can go down, but only by one.
Inertia's a thing.
Yeah, and you literally when you pick your movement, if you are moving in a previous direction, if you don't choose certain options, you will actually drift in the previous direction before you can correct into your new course.
Sounds cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they actually did a good bit. Now, I mean, they can't bring in full 3D because, up and down,
Yeah.
that Z-axis is hard to do, but,
Well, I like that X-Wing has those little templates that everybody has the template that you can fly around in, and everybody has little dials, and you choose beforehand what you're doing.
Right.
And I like that aspect of it because it feels more like an actual game with set. It feels more like a chess game to me than 40K
That sounds really
feels like a
interesting.
chess game.
Yeah, it was really cool. I personally like Armada a little better than X-Wing.
Yeah, I just like the low model count, so I can put it in the bag. And
Well, which is Armada as well, which
Yeah.
I think I still have a bunch of my Armada stuff. I think I may have kept that. I can't remember for sure. I may not have. But yeah, Armada was cool because you had ship management along with that because you're playing capital ships.
yeah,
So you had several different actions like with repairs or charge weapons.
so that's more of like your Battlefleet Gothic type thing.
Right, more speed. And you would actually, if you had 4 ships, you had these 4 little command dials that had it, and you would set what you wanted to do at the beginning of the turn, and then set them in the order you wanted to. And then, each command dial corresponded to a ship. So you'd be like, all right, I'm going to activate my frigate. And you'd be like, full speed ahead. But if you didn't get the initiative, and you were planning on a full speed run at this guy, and then he moved his ship out of the way,
You're like, oh fuck.
full speed running, you can't do anything. And so it was actually, I really enjoyed Armada for that extra level of here's some shit. Plus, you also had certain ships in certain scenarios. You actually had little squadron flight stands with like 3 little itty bitty TIE fighters or X-Wings on them, and the squadrons could actually do things. And you could actually use them as a specific command type deal and do things with your squadron throughout the turn.
I might get into that. I'm going to try out X-Wing. I haven't played a game yet. I literally bought the stuff and was looking through the rule book tonight and popped out all my pieces. And it has 1 billion tokens, but you don't always use them.
No.
I like that they literally give you everything that you need for the ship now. Like
Right.
every upgrade card that ship can have, every pilot that ship can have, you get it in a box for $20.
Yep.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, X-Wing is a pretty cheap game. The first version of it.
But you still gotta go. But you still have to buy the models, right?
No, that comes with the model.
Yeah, the model comes packaged in a blister pack that has all the upgrades, all the different things. Because like sometimes like you get an X-Wing, you can have like a rookie X-Wing pilot, or you can have Luke Skywalker, or you can have Wedge Antilles.
They have different pilot cards.
And then,
Yeah.
and they have different pilot cards, and then you'll have the little templates you put on the base, which may be slightly different for the pilot and whatnot, and for what you're doing, and then all the upgrades like proton torpedoes or a better astromech droid or whatever. You'll have the upgrade cards also, and it gives you all that stuff you need in that blister pack with that ship. The problem they ran into with X-Wing 1.0 that caused them to go into a second edition is because the power creep. Because every time they released new upgrades, they were so much better and had to be so much better that everybody just followed the trend of what was releasing and playing that, and nobody played the old stuff anymore. And
they fixed that now because the cards no longer have point values on them like they did in 1.0. It's all on an app now. It's all digitalized. So they can go and be like, oh, well, Darth Vader is no longer this powerful anymore, and everybody's playing this, so we'll go ahead and increase the points on this and decrease the points on him.
Or, give him a different ability.
Or give him different ability. They can literally change everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's cool. And, I mean, the minis come pre-painted, nothing to assemble.
You literally just plop them on their bases and fly the ship.
They're like little micro machines. So it's a fun little quickie game. I had a lot of fun with it playing it. So I mean, I can't say that I dislike it. It didn't hold my interest like I kind of hoped it would. But I do like Armada and would be more than willing to definitely play that again because that was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how X-Wing goes because that's my next step because I saw their Super Star Destroyer thing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna spend $100 on this fucking thing, and I don't even play this game.
Just because I want the model. Well,
just because I want it.
That's why I got the Corellian Corvette. That's an X-Wing model out there on the Detolf case.
Yep.
But it sucked too because I bought that thing and then for some reason they did not package the flight stand and the base with it, so I've never been able to use it for anything. And I keep meaning to like write them and be like, hey, I bought this and didn't get my bases.
I bought this 7 years ago. Can you please?
by now it's too late, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. But cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
So I think with that we'll especially because we're gonna be tacking another hour onto this podcast.
Yeah, Apocalypse.
I think we'll probably call it quits for this evening if y'all are good with that.
I suppose.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, you're good with that.
I've already been awake for 48 hours. So.
Yeah. It's sad when, you've been awake for 48 hours and worked like, 36 of that?
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got more energy than Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm used to this kind of thing.
Who's just staring at me bitterly and angrily. I'm pretty convinced that he hates me now.
This is what caffeine will get you, boys.
Yeah, mostly.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, I think that'll be another successful podcast. And
successful?
Yeah, well,
putting the cart before the horse there, bud.
It is. And so we'll reconvene in about 2 weeks to talk about some more cool shit and our Henchman Hardcore tournament, all that kind of stuff.
Yay.
And I think that'll be...
Probably have my new Space Marine Codex for my Emperor Spears.
Wild Tangent.
Yeah, Wild Tangents.
We are Wild Tangents.
Go.
Anyway, so today, to start everything off with, Mclean and I are going to be talking a lot about good old Warhammer 40k Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most anticipated 40k thing I've been looking forward to since 8th edition. And I really liked 8th edition. The glamour and glitz wore off a little while ago. But that happened. And I really...
8th edition should be.
Right. I really do enjoy Kill Team, though. Because I've kind of just... I don't know. I think my frame of reference of gaming, as I've gotten older, and I have less time to do so, has gone more towards skirmish gaming. And honestly, Apocalypse, to me, the way a lot of the rules read and the way everything looks, it sounds like it's going to be a mass tabletop, almost skirmish-paced game.
Yes.
Because it's supposed to take you about an evening, but then again, when you have, 300 models, it's going to take you a little while to chew through them. So I don't mind if my, 3-hour game is killing 300 models, because that's fun.
But they recommend 300 power level, but you don't have to play that.
Right, you
can play 100.
Right, but I mean, 100 power level is roughly a 2,000 point army.
Yeah, and you can play it with Apocalypse rules. That way, it's more like a skirmish game, rather than a full-on Warhammer 40k game.
Full-on 2.5 hour, 3 hour 40k game.
Yeah,
of misery. I mean, watching your opponent play. I mean, lots of fun.
Yes. Okay, you go ahead and take your turn. I'm gonna go take a piss, eat a pizza, make a phone call, and eat a chicken sandwich, and I'll be back.
I let people take their turns while I impregnate my wife. It's, I'm like,
whoa.
I mean, I don't really,
Cut the feed.
No, we're not. But I'm like, hey, why not?
Speaking of skirmish games, did you look at Warcry?
I did. I did not look in depth in the rules. They had me at that terrain that comes in the box set, and so I pre-ordered it just for that.
It's pretty sick, especially for the price tag. It was like, what, $170?
Yeah, 170, and you get 2 war bands, all the rules, all the gubbins, and you get all that terrain. And honestly, I looked at that terrain and was like, I can use this terrain for like 3 other games.
Yeah, and like dice and cards and everything you can play.
Yes.
Pretty good deal, actually.
I do want to take a brief little bit here at the beginning to talk about something wonderful, something that happened. I've mentioned a couple podcasts that I ordered a table of Ultimate Gaming. It finally came. Woo! And I can tell you that anybody who is thinking about ordering one, definitely do so. And I will go over my entire experience in factual entirety so that you can understand what I dealt with, so that you will know what you will deal with. However, in my finding, the end totally justifies the few angry emails I had to send. Though I don't suggest everyone do this because I'm sure it would totally screw them up and eventually they would stop doing it. But literally, I had ordered one in April, and I went through their website and I saw, hey, we're pre-ordering. I believe it said pre-ordering for like July or June or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm ordering in April. They show pre-ordering for this. And I went through looking at the tables, and a bunch of them were listed as pre-order. Meaning I'm like, okay, well, this won't come in for several months if I do the pre-order. So I found the Elite 3.5 table, which if you have a smaller kitchen like we do, it is the perfect size. Totally, like, if you play on the kitchen tabletop part of it, it is roughly like right under 6x4, because this is actually a 6x4 clear tabletop protector I had to order from Amazon because my accessories haven't come in yet. Long story. So this is actually 6x4. It has like literally, I think that's like a 1/2 inch hang off on one side, and then the corners are they're rounded on the table, but they're squared on the mat, so the corners hang off a little bit. But it honestly is a good fit, and it will protect the table from the children.
Who plays on a 1/2 inch on the end, though?
Right. I mean, it's like whoop-de-doo. It's close enough to 6x4. And that's what I did, is when I measured it out, I was like, that's close enough to 6x4, I'll have a 6x4. The inset play area is...
no, I'm losing 5 inches of my table.
Right.
It's not 6x4 anymore.
The inset play area is about 3.5 by like 5.5, I think.
I go with that.
Yeah. Feet. So like 3 feet 6 inches.
3.5 by 5 inches.
Yes.
It's very tiny.
So, yes, no.
You could fit half a Battleship game on it.
You actually have to play Travel Battleship on it. That's the only way it works. But and the inset area is awesome. They actually, the way you build the table, it sets up, and the inset area actually can raise and lower depending on what you're doing. So you can actually lower it down so you have a deeper inset, and raise it up so you have a much more shallower inset. I currently have it raised up because I think it works better for grabbing pieces and moving things around. And then you have the actual covers that go over top of that make it a dining room table instead of a table with a lip that has an inset in it.
Gotta make the wives happy.
Right, and it works really well. And then instead of ordering their chairs, which their chairs look nice and comfy, but at the price they were, I ordered some Ashley furniture chairs off of Amazon. I had some IKEA chairs that I'd ordered beforehand, and this thing says standard tabletop height, and their seat height is about 18 inches. No, you want about a 20-inch seat height on your chair.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, because it's taller table, and this is the standard height table.
This microphone stared me straight in the face.
That's the way it should be.
Awfully phallic.
Yes. Prepare for jizz.
Oh, cover your eyes, children.
Oh, God. It's Krispy Kreme donut icing. But anyway, when I ordered it, as I said, I found one that was in stock, and I ordered it. I clicked the accessory pack that it showed me on the thing, like, this stuff will work with your table, and hit add to cart, purchased, done deal. About a month after I did that, because I figured it would take a little bit for shipping and everything, and I like to give people plenty of time before I start bitching, I sent them an email that said, hey, this said in stock, and I have not heard word one yet about it shipping or what's going on. And I got an email back that said, oh, we're really sorry about that, but yeah, everything is 8 to 10 weeks ship time from the time you order. And so I basically said, okay, well, that's totally fine. I get that. I would have really liked it if you had made that very clear on your website that even in-stock items are going to wait 8 to 10 weeks before they ship.
Yeah.
Because that would have helped me out. And then, so several weeks later, about the 8-week mark, I was like, so, how about that table, guys? When is it coming? And it was like literally just, hey, I know it could be a little bit longer, but when, should I expect this? What's the projected time? What are we looking like? And then they went, well, your accessory pack is wrong. And for the wrong table size. So we're going to fix it, but you owe us another $20. Okay, cool, whatever. If it's only a $20 difference, who cares? However, I told them, hey, you might want to look at your website e-commerce thing because it's giving people the wrong packages then. Because I clicked on the package that was supposed to be for my table and have the options set for me or whatever. And it didn't. And so we fixed that problem. And then, they kind of said, well, we're looking at trying to get them out as quick as we can and blah, blah, blah. Fix the package. We'll get it out to you. Okay, great. So I did that. So at about the 12-week mark, I sent them another email going, hey, guys, what are we looking at?
How about that table?
How about that? Can just let me know projected ship date. And they came back and said, well, we've had problems with some of our stuff, and it's not going to ship until August. And that was when I sent the email that was like, what? This is unacceptable. The reason I felt this was unacceptable is not because their stuff got held up, because shit happens, and I totally understand that things get fucked up. That's life. It's because they didn't notify the people that were waiting on tables, hey, our shit got fucked up. We're experiencing longer ship times. Please be patient with us. I had to ask.
A simple email.
Right. I had to ask. Simple email.
They make copy and paste. You can do it a bunch of times.
Yeah, you can look at all your orders and your order fulfillments. There's all kinds of fancy database and database programming and things like that can let you know, hey, this is when this thing is coming the fuck out. So do it. Didn't happen. So I was kind of pissed. So I basically sent them, the whole, hey guys, you should let people know this. Here have been my issues from the get-go. This is somewhat unacceptable because you didn't let me know about it ahead of time. It's kind of bullshit. We had done things around here in our old kitchen table. I'd bought different chairs and all that kind of stuff. And we were just waiting on this thing to come in to finish doing some of the stuff we were going to do to the house with rearranging and moving things around. Not that it was this big, horrible, inconvenient state of disarray.
But they don't need to know that. Shh.
Right. Those bitches don't come to my house. But at the same time, it would have been nice to have, said, oh, okay, this is how long we're going to have to be doing it this way or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Great. So, of course, I sent them an email saying all that. And I get an email back. And I want to say every single email and communication that I had with them was absolutely, completely polite, absolutely perfect customer service. I mean, there was nothing wrong. They didn't say anything wrong. There was never attitude. There was never any way to misconstrue something as attitude. It was great. A++ on that. And of course, some of these I was sending multiple emails and not getting responses. And then I bugged them over their Facebook. I'm not getting, hey guys, I've sent you a couple emails asking these questions. What's going on? Letting you know what's up. Nobody's responding to me. I'm not hearing anything. What's going on?
No public shaming.
Right. And apparently they were having problems getting their emails through or something. Because then I had a gentleman take over my case or whatever, and then he came back with me and was like, hey, we're sorry, we're not getting your emails or something. I don't know what's going on. We want to make all this right. I've moved your order up to the highest priority. I'll give you $100 towards accessories to our store, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, well, my response to him was basically, okay, well, I really appreciate that. However, right now I have very little confidence in your company. I'm not, I don't see an end in sight. I feel like I'm going to be waiting forever for this thing, that I'm not going to get it till Christmas. And, I ordered it forever ago. And I'm actually honestly kind of worried that I'm even going to get it at all. Please let me know what's going on. Can you give me an itinerary? And honestly, instead of the $100, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put on your website, our shit can take a while to get to you. I mean, not those exact words, but something along those lines, because I was sitting there and I said, look, your guys' product is beautiful looking. It is amazing looking. I think that for the features and for the price compared to other similar table designs, which I looked up, similar table designs, and these are about half price of everything else out on the market.
No, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay, for a table like mine, you're going to pay close to $3,000 or more from all the competitors. And this...
Ouch town.
Yeah, and this with accessories, before shipping was like, I think, $1,500.
$3,000, that's like almost a Warlord Titan.
It's actually 2 Warlord Titans.
It was a joke. It's called hyperbole, Eric.
No, I don't believe in that. I don't even know how to spell it, so fuck hyperbole. And I never got a response back. And so then I sent them other emails saying, hey, I haven't gotten a response back. It's been several days. What's up? No response from that yet. Nothing. So then last Wednesday, the one that just passed, I guess you could say. I don't know what date that was, but it was in there. You got a calendar?
Let's go with the 15th. That sounds good.
No, because that would be exactly a week away. So it would have been the 17th.
I was close.
Close enough.
I just took a wild guess.
But because of your wild guess, I was able to intuit by math exactly when they came.
I didn't even know what today was.
Yeah, today's the 22nd. I have it. It's right on the desktop screen.
Handy.
Yeah, I know, isn't it? Cool things with technology. But anyway, so I literally went, okay, cool. It's been several days. It was Wednesday morning. I was like, I want my damn money back. That's the end of story. Like, you guys haven't been responding. Had you been responding, we could have at least worked something out. Because I'd much rather have the table than my money. I want my money back, though, because you guys aren't even paying attention to me. And no response, no nothing through Wednesday. Wednesday night while I'm at work, Rebecca texts me and says, guess what came today? And I've had an absolute shit several weeks, and I literally was like, I don't know, probably something horrible. Like, I'm imagining, like...
a flaming pile of dog shit in a paper bag.
Right. I'm imagining like it's the, the pig's STD test and our pig has chlamydia or some shit. Like, I'm like...
She wasn't supposed to tell.
Yeah, apparently. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But no, it was... She goes, your table showed up. I'm like, holy shit. So our usual Wednesday night game night, which I kind of canceled just because I was like, I'm kind of stressed and overwhelmed at the moment. I just don't want to handle shit. I literally texted Joe and was like, hey, Joe Thompson, not McLean.
Yeah, not me.
And I was like, hey, if you were
I
planning...
don't get friendly texts.
I mean, do you want them? Do you really want that?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So, of course, I basically do the whole, oh, okay, well, that's cool, and get the, get him over, and we actually built it. It only took us a couple hours to build it, which was pretty awesome. It wasn't anywhere near as bad and daunting as it looked. It does come in like 3 boxes, so, but imagine. And
You've built IKEA chairs before, right? It's pretty much the same thing.
Actually, I think the IKEA chairs were a little bit weirder and harder to build because it was actually really easy to figure out how it all went together.
Yeah, well, I used pluck foam before, so
yeah. Really?
Get on my level.
Really? Okay. Get good, kid. I'm pluck foam master.
Get good.
Anyway, so I did come in. I built it. We put it together, and so far the inaugural game was last night after our Malifaux demo day. Tristan and I played a game of Malifaux on the table, and it was great. It was fun. It worked really well.
The table worked.
Yeah, it holds things. You can sit at it. You can also eat at it. We found that out too.
Noted. Table
Yes.
works.
Table works. And the power outlets work. One of the cool things about these tables is that if you get the Elite series, they actually have a total of 4 USB and 4 AC outlet ports that you can plug into the wall and power your things. So right now, this podcast is powered by the table of Ultimate Gaming.
Like laptops.
Yeah.
Vibrators, whatever you're into.
Yeah, my Pocket Rocket is just freaking juicing my panties right now
Hell
off
yeah.
that AC adapter. You ever hooked your dildo up to 110 AC, boy? Woo!
Your simian machines, whatever you're into, right?
Yeah. Sit and spin, sonny.
Why'd you gotta throw Sunny in that? That was just kind of weird.
Wasn't it? I'd imagine that's probably some hillbilly shit right there. Wee! Wee! Squeal like a pig, boy! Yeah, anyway.
That took a dark turn.
Didn't it? Did it? It took a Burt Reynolds turn.
As long as he's got his bow, we're good.
Right? Oh, God. Deliverance. Anyway, but I do have to shout out that it is an amazing product. It is well worth waiting for. If you have it and want to get a table that can serve as your kitchen table and a gaming table and serve dual purpose, this thing is perfect. Literally perfect. I absolutely love it. But anyway, yeah, that's that. Fun Table of Ultimate Gaming story that nobody gives two shits about now.
I put together a Walmart plastic table.
I'm sure you did. I think it said Little Tykes on it.
It did. It was Legos.
It's Legos. I made it from Legos. I made sure it doesn't fall apart. I spit on every Lego before I put it together. My saliva will crust it all together. Saliva.
You gotta eat honey before that, though.
Yeah. That's not really disgusting, but it sounds disgusting. Gross.
Churn it up real good.
Oh, God, stop.
So like a paste.
Next thing you know, you're going to tell me you feed your children like birds.
I don't have children, sir. It's the dog.
Well, as long as you're feeding your dog somewhere.
Or my wife.
I mean, whatever y'all do in your spare time.
Hey,
I ain't here to kink shame nobody.
don't kink shame me, Linda.
I won't.
We've already been over this.
Trust me, I won't. Yeah, moving on to Apocalypse.
Yay!
Yay!
There was much rejoicing.
Yeah, much rejoicing. You know,
Yeah.
since it's
122 berserkers.
122 berserkers.
No, 222.
222.
220.
It's an oddly specific number.
Well, they don't let you field units of 5, so. Well, you can actually. Yeah, you can. Yeah. But I have 223. So it's not quite.
So how many do you have to have in a unit?
5 minimum, maximum 20.
Oh, okay.
So that's gonna be. I need more mastodons
So where do you get the 2 from? Where's the 2 come from?
because I have 220 of them on the field at once.
You said 222.
223 actually.
Okay, 223. Where are the 3? You have to have a unit of 5.
They're gonna be behind enemy lines, infiltrating, because they're really good at that.
So you can't actually field all 223.
No, it makes me sad all day.
Because you're going to be missing 3 fucking berserkers.
No, I'm gonna have to buy another box because that'll be an even. That'll even it out because that's 12 in a box.
Oh,
So that'll even them out right there.
yeah.
Just because I need another box of berserkers.
World Eater problems.
Well, they only come. Here's the no. GW, if you're listening, I want you to solve this one fucking problem. I only have one problem so far.
They're not listening and they won't.
That you better fucking listen right now. All right, let me lay this down for you. Your berserker box comes with 12 models. Okay, everybody tracking? Comes with 6 chain axes. 6. Why?
Because 6 of them left their chain axes at home.
They're berserkers.
They were
come
too
with-
busy getting ready
They
for
come
berserker
with
school.
6 chain axes and 6 chain swords. That is fucking retarded.
Maybe 6 berserkers out of every 12 like chain swords.
No, we projected them from the Legion.
Projected them from the Legion?
Yes.
I don't think you know what that word means.
Out of the airlock. Projected.
I still don't think you know what that word means.
Projected. Like on a LCD TV.
Yeah, that would be ejected.
No, projected.
Oy.
Like their brain matter was like a glorious. You know those what were they called? The damn projector screens.
Chainswords don't have brain matter. I don't care what fantasy you're buying into.
No, but the berserkers who like chainswords do.
It's still ejected.
Projected.
Ejected.
Projected.
All right, whatever. I'm done with this.
It's my legion. I can do what I want.
Sure. It's not your legion. It's GW's legion.
It's my legion.
It's their IP.
It's my legion.
You don't own it.
It's my legion.
Okay.
It's my legion now.
Anyway, so how do you play Apocalypse?
I'm the captain now.
How do you play Apocalypse?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Eric.
I'm not.
Well, first of all, you need lots of models.
Yeah.
You need lots of models.
So, roughly how many models would be in a 300 power level game, do you think?
It really depends. If you're running knights, it can be, I believe knights are about, baby knights are 9 power level, and regular knights are 20, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
20-ish, roughly, so...
You could have close to
10.
10. You
10,
probably
15.
have like 8 knights and a few babies.
Yeah.
All right.
You probably have like 10 knights and maybe 10 babies. That'd probably be that'd be 29 power level, or 290, I should say.
Yeah.
Roughly. So that's a lot of knights.
It is. It is a lot of knights.
But
And for that
But
you
to
could
be
just
fair-
buy a Warlord Titan.
220 berserkers is 170 power level.
Right.
If that tells you anything.
Yeah, and I looked up. I was actually really pleased. My Warlord Titan is, I think, like 220 power level-ish, which makes me really happy.
It makes you really happy all day long.
Because then basically I can pretty much field my Warlord Titan with my AdMech,
Let me see, I got the cards in here too.
and I have enough Titan Guard to make it work.
Oh, here's a good card. Angrath the Unbound.
Oh.
One of my gentle souls that I love to play with.
Okay.
He's very kind and gentle. He's 28 power level.
Yeah.
He's quite a beast. He's kind of a beat stick.
So he's almost as much as a knight.
No, he's more than a knight.
Oh, he's more than a knight.
He is more than a knight. He's on the Castellan Knight level.
Oh,
The
that's still a knight.
Well, it's the big Indomitus class. I was talking about, the what is it?
Oh, the regular knights?
Yeah, the regular knights. What's their chassis called?
I don't know. I don't remember.
God damn it. Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Knight.
It's a knight. The regular knight. The one that I can't remember the chassis of.
The less stompy knight, but
Yes.
more stompy than the baby knights.
But Angrath the Unbound. He is one of my favorite characters. He's badass. Except for the fact that he got his ass beat by Logar, but that was just to boost his morale, so. Anyway.
Logar or Lorgar?
Lorgar.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yes. And
Was that in
the Horus Heresy.
Yeah,
And
the
Aurelian.
Yeah. Oh, an Aurelian.
Where he
Yeah,
took
that's
his
what I don't
peyote
remember.
night dream.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he fights Angrath the Unbound and
okay.
Angrath, and Korn basically says, Angrath, you're gonna have to take one for the team because Lorgar's kind of like a little bitch.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised that
It was to boost his confidence booster.
And it really sucks though, because I actually really like the premise of Lorgar. But then
I like the premise of Lorgar more than I actually like it.
But then the way the character developed in the lore, it's like you're a giant whiny pussy fart.
Yes.
And that's why
You're more
I don't
whiny
like
than
you.
Gilliman.
Yeah, well, Gilliman's actually not that whiny.
He's very whiny.
No.
He says, you guys are doing it better than me. I'm going to copy you. Oh, I can't make up my own ideas.
He never said that.
Yes, he does. He copied the Thousand Sons artwork. No, he copied Blood Angel's artwork, and he copied Thousand Sons architecture of Prospero.
No.
Fun fact.
No, because Macragge
Yeah.
is based on the whole Greek aesthetic.
It wasn't on Macragge.
The Greek and Roman aesthetic.
It wasn't on Macragge. It was on Ultramar.
Oh. Well, most of Ultramar is described as having like Greek and Roman aesthetic.
You need to dig deeper into your lore, sir.
Oh, apparently. But
anyway.
But yeah, the books that actually featured Gilliman in them, he himself
he gets his ass beat every time.
Was not that whiny of a bitch. I mean, yeah, he gets his ass beat a few times, but most of the Primarchs
A few
do.
times, like every time. Name one time that Angron got his ass beat. One.
Actually, he got his ass beat by Perturabo.
What?
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
When?
In the Horus Heresy books.
Name it. What book?
When Perturabo and the Iron Warriors show up on the planet, when they summon Angron he's becoming a demon prince already. They summon him, and then Perturabo and the Iron Warriors beat the piss out of him that they can submit him, so that he'll actually go to muster to attack Terra.
And what book?
It's one of the last like 2 books of the Horus Heresy series. I can't remember the name of the book, but yeah.
Yeah, but as a demon Primarch, that's not the same thing, because you can actually use warding for that.
Well, no, they don't.
I mean, like an actual Primarch.
Yeah, they don't. They literally because one of the Iron Warriors is like the proto like obliterator or whatever, the ones that are like half demon heavy weapons platform things. Yeah. One of them is that, and it's like the Iron Warriors and the World Eaters like go toe to toe on this planet, and they're pretty evenly matched. And
yeah, Iron Warriors are bad, man. And then I wouldn't want to. They're
yeah, and then Perturabo and Angron go toe to toe, and they're basically beating the piss out of each other, and Perturabo is pretty much winning, and he's like, "You need to stop." And then the proto obliterator guy shows up and is like, "Cool, he's gonna end it for you." Or you can stop and join us, and we'll go muster at Terra, and you can actually fight somebody that needs to be fought. And Angron kind of goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, Angron. So, I love Angron. He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, you want me? Why didn't you just say so?"
Yeah. I mean,
you want me to go kill some nerds? Fine.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's why he's my favorite.
Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, and then let's see.
Yeah, but Angron. He whooped the most Primarch ass.
Yeah, I mean, Angron was a badass. I totally understand that.
Totally sucks in the game, but
yeah. Anyway,
he dies to bolter fire.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you're telling us how you play.
After we go off on a tangent.
I don't know what Ungrath has to do with how you play the game.
It's the first card that I pulled out of my stack.
Oh.
So I was just going through the card. We were going through power level, and he's pretty big. He's a super heavy auxiliary, of course. 28 power level, and his movement's pretty standard at 16 inches for a flying creature. And the way it works is you roll a die, you roll a d6. You have a d6 and d12, right? So d6 is your first roll for your weapon skill or ballistic skill. His happens to be a weapon skill of 2+ and a ballistic skill of 4+. Alright, and after you do that, you go down and you look at your strength against personnel characteristic, or you look at your strength against tank characteristic. And you have to find what... It gets a little complicated, but once you figure it out, it's not that bad. You basically have to find if you're a light creature or a heavy.
So if anybody wants to use Ungrath, you know what you're doing now.
Yes, you're welcome.
No clue how to play the rest of the game, but we can use Ungrath.
Well, I was going through the...
No, you weren't.
I was going through the card, sir.
The card isn't how you play the damn game.
It is how you play the game. I was going through the different die rolls and everything. But you know what? We can just do it your way. Whatever you want to do. How do you want it?
Okay, well, what do you do first?
Get models together. Paint them.
Okay, and then how do you know what models to put in your damn army?
You basically play whatever the fuck you want. That's why I like this game.
So I'm going to put my Necrons with your World Eaters?
You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give a shit.
I mean, do the rules allow you to do things like that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's where I'm getting at is, like the people who may not be familiar with anything at all, I want to go over the overview of like
they have
army
faction
setup,
keywords. They have faction keywords and things like that. They have the keywords.
So do you have to match any of the keywords, or?
It depends on how you want to play, because they say that in each army, each individual army has to match keywords. But say if we're playing a team game and I'm Chaos and you're Necrons, we can play together
Right.
against like whoever the fuck, Tau and Eldar.
But could my Chaos army also have Necrons in it?
Sure, why not?
So like I can
According to the rule book, no, but sure, why not? I don't.
No, I want to know based on the rule book, not
Oh, well.
not what you're gonna let me do.
You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't give
Right.
a shit. Based on the rule book, no, you have to match keywords.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
You have to ask me specific questions, sir.
Well, I mean, I figured you'd be able to tell me
I
things.
I did tell you things.
Yeah.
You want to know more things?
You want to fight about it?
You want to fight about it?
Get out the Wesson cooking oil.
I don't know what you just said, so I'm gonna take it as disrespect. Watch your mouth.
Right. Okay, so you basically set up your force with the keyword thing. So
Yes.
obviously you're gonna have Chaos, Imperium, Eldari.
Yeah. You have
All
all
that kind of stuff.
You have all the factions. You can use whatever faction you
Right.
want. And I love the fact that they put all the data cards
Online.
for free, including Forge World.
Joe has a giant stack that he has laminated.
It took me 27 years, and the game's only been out for about a month.
That doesn't make any damn sense.
It's warp time.
I used science fiction.
Yes.
Anyway, but yeah. So once you kind of have your army set up, I mean,
you can go through. They have different detachments.
Okay.
You want to go through the detachments?
yeah. It
Okay.
sets up in detachments.
You have the basic detachments of Warhammer 40k, if you know what those are. You got your battalion, you got your spearhead, you got your outriders, you got your vanguards, your super heavy auxiliaries, and all the other ones.
Brigade.
Yeah, whatever. And all the ones that you can have in normal Warhammer 40k. But you don't have to have an HQ in those.
Okay.
So you can have a battalion detachment that has a minimum of 3 troops,
Right.
and that counts. And you just nominate a model in that detachment to be your quote-unquote HQ, who
Okay.
issues the orders, basically.
So basically, like from a we'll say a Tau perspective, you could have 3 units of fire warriors as a battalion, and then nominate one of the
The sergeants.
sergeant, basically of the unit as the HQ.
Yes.
Okay.
You can nominate them as a HQ. However, to gain, you have command asset cards.
Right.
You make a deck of 30 cards beforehand with your faction cards and whatever generic cards you want in it, and you can draw from those cards. So if you want to have more asset cards, you can have a maximum of 10
Okay.
and at once. If you want to have more command asset cards, you need more characters.
Okay.
So if you have characters, for every character HQ in your army, you gain a command asset card.
So like so you can have that's in your hand.
Yes.
Okay, so you have like a deck of 30, and if I have several detachments and I've only got like 2 of them that have command HQ guys.
You get a total
Characters.
of 3 cards.
Okay.
You get 1 for just being there,
Right.
and you get 2 for every character HQ that you have in your army.
So I'd have a total of 13 cards in my hand.
You would have a total of 3. You would draw 3 cards at the beginning of your turn.
Okay. I thought you said you could have 10.
You
in
can
your
have a
hand.
maximum of 10.
Okay, I get it. I'm following. I'm tracking.
So just have a maximum of 10 characters at all times. You'll be fine.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Until they all fucking die, because there's none of that stupid, oh yeah, you can't attack the character if he's not your... You can attack the character all day fucking long now.
Nice.
He's just hard to hit. He's harder to hit. He's all -1.
Right, and I'd imagine that, like, when you kill the character, I assume when the next turn starts, you're going to have 1 less card.
Yes, you lose, you lose that card. Well, you don't lose the card, but you lose the ability to draw an extra card.
Right.
And I really like this, the whole not having to have an HQ in your detachments, because if I want to run Vindicator Squadron, I can. And they can go off and do their thing like a Vindicator Squadron should.
Right.
Without having a character coming, hey, wait for me!
Right. I'm Lord Plubius Maximus. It seems to me like, based on what you're saying about the detachments and how they're organized, it's more like kind of real world military.
Yes.
And that sometimes you have a sergeant pretty much running the show.
Yes.
on a section of the battlefield because the lieutenants are elsewhere.
Usually crying in the corner.
I don't know. I'm not military. Never was. I've tattooed a few lieutenants.
What does it say? Name tape.
Put my bars on my forehead.
Yeah. That way they know who I am.
I want them to know I'm a lieutenant.
I can look at you. If you act like you're in charge and you look like you haven't started shaving yet, you're a lieutenant. But anyway, I digress.
All the lieutenants who listen to this podcast are now turning it off.
I don't give a shit.
Neither do I.
Oh, Lord. But anyways. But yeah, I really like that feature that they did with the detachments where you don't have to have an HQ, but it does help you.
Right.
And I also like the fact, because Paul at Vendetta, he brought up the fact that, oh, I can just have a brigade detachment and activate my detachment all at once and activate my entire army. It's like, okay, Paul, you can do that. You only have 2 fucking command asset cards.
Yeah. And then once you activate your entire army and do its thing, it's going to do whatever it's going to do to me, but then I'm going to be able to do whatever back to you, and then half your army is going to be gone because I'm going to be able to target per detachment, I assume, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
don't be that guy because you're going to fucking lose real quick.
Right. It seems like the rules are set against doing that, so
yes,
it may
there
not
is
be a
no
good
alpha
idea.
strike in this game, which I love.
Right.
It's done all simultaneously into, I believe, 4 phases.
Yeah, because you have like you have what, the command phase or start phase or something like that.
You have the initiative phase where you roll off to see, and the initiative changes every turn.
Right.
You roll off to see who goes first because one, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Right. Because everything's simultaneous.
Yes. So you just see who's gonna go first, and then you have your orders phase where you lay down all your orders, and you have the 3 different orders you can give. You can have advance, where you can move and shoot, and you can attack.
Right.
And then you can have your assault, where you can double move your maximum distance because there's not any charging.
Okay.
You can double move, and then you get a +1 to your attack.
Okay.
So if you're hitting on 3s, you're now hitting on 2s.
2s, yeah.
Which is brutal.
Well, based on the numbers I looked over, I mean, it looks like the entire game is pretty much set up to be as kill fuck fest as possible.
Yes.
Like
the average save that I've seen is anywhere between a 5 and a 7 on average.
Wow.
And if you have large blast markers attached to you, you're taking that on a D6. So good luck getting a 7 on a D6. I haven't seen it yet.
No.
I have an 8th edition because it's convoluted as fuck, but hey.
I actually ordered, there's a guy who does a podcast in England called The Honest Wargamer.
Yeah.
And he has a really cool podcast. His name's Rob Symes. He's really, really fucking hilarious. He made Honest Wargamer dice, and the 6s say piss off. So I ordered a set specifically for any games I play that use D6s, because piss off.
Yes, piss off.
Yeah.
You got to say it like that, otherwise it doesn't count.
Yep, pretty much.
And third order you can give is aimed fire.
Right.
Basically, you forego your movement, but you get +1 to shooting.
Nice.
So you're shooting things.
So if your BS is a 4, it'd be a 3.
Yes.
Nice.
So Tau, there you go.
Yeah.
There's no marker lights in Tau, unfortunately.
I honestly, it kind of pisses, you know what pisses me off is sometimes the thinking. I kind of want to be like, what the fuck are you rules guys thinking?
Yeah, right?
Okay, because here you have, your Imperial Guardsmen, BS like 4 or 5, most cases. Understandable. They're humans. They're unaugmented. They're in battle. They're crazy. They're frenzied. Whatever. You have Space Marines that are BS 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Space Marines who train, target their whole life, blah blah blah. Okay, then you have the Tau, right? The Tau Fire Warrior is a caste that for generations has done nothing but warfare.
Yep.
They also have the highest technology and the best like aim assistance and all that kind of stuff, not to mention AI stuff that they can shove in their helmets and help them out. All this targeting assistance crap, right? And they shoot for shit. I'm like, are you serious? Like, these guys should shoot as good as Space Marines.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand maybe, okay, honestly, I would say decrease the strength of a pulse rifle because it should be probably like a las gun, like a strength 3.
Well, Eric, you're thinking too logically.
Right, but it should have AP.
This is Warhammer 40K where the lore's made up and it don't matter.
Right, but then that's what I'm saying. Like, if you follow the lore, a pulse rifle is probably about the similar strength to a las gun. It's really good against personnel and soft targets.
If you're following the fucking lore, I should be able to get a chain axe for 3 instead of a fucking point. That's obnoxious.
Stop.
It's obnoxious.
But,
point, that's obnoxious.
But the pulse rifle's higher technology should give you maybe an extra AP.
I would rather you make it 5 points, so at least I feel like I could add it to something. But whatever.
Knock it off with your damn chain axe.
Well, they don't give you enough in the box, I might as well.
Oh, God.
Shout out to Pop Goes the Monkey, you the man. I sent you a buttload of money for a lot of chain axes. I really appreciate it.
I mean, honestly, they're a good little site.
Yeah, I love Pop Goes
all
the Monkey.
All their bits and stuff they make is...
I bought so much shit from him.
Muy fantastico.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, I bought a bunch of... When I was doing Tau battle suits, I bought a bunch of cyclic ion
I
blasters.
have a 3D printer, and I still buy a lot of shit from him.
I mean, honestly... The quality they got, though, is really good.
Yeah, it's
and then
insane.
You don't have to sit there and fuck around cleaning
They got like a fucking $10,000 3D printer.
Right. Good stuff.
Yeah. But anyways,
so yeah,
another tangent.
Yeah, you do your command orders, you set out your orders, and you do whatever your guys are going to do. They get their bonuses.
Yeah, and the one thing I don't really agree with in the rule book that I'm probably going to house rule every time I play is at the end of your order phase, you flip all the orders over. So everybody knows what everything is doing.
Yeah, it kind of would make more sense that you would say, I'm activating this detachment, so you flip over just that detachment.
Yeah. It's like, haha, gotcha, kind of thing, rather than...
But, I mean, at the same time, your opponent put down all their orders, so you can't change anything.
But I think it's more fun. So, I think it adds more excitement. I'm all about, randomness, exciting things happen.
But, I mean, it's the same result either which way you do it.
I'm a scatter die proponent.
I like scatter die, too.
Yeah.
But, So, I mean, that sounds like it's pretty cool. Army structure, being able to download the data cards, having the command assets.
Well, basically, then you go your action phase where everything moves. Yeah. You activate one detachment at a time. You alternate activations.
So I'm gonna move, shoot, all that in one activation.
Yep. You move, shoot, and if you're gonna fight, then you fight all in one battalion, or one. I shouldn't say battalion.
Detachment.
One detachment activates at a time. So if it's like a spearhead detachment, you activate your entire spearhead at once.
Which kind of sucks if you go first, and if I've given my dude's charge order into some of your guys.
Yes.
And say for some ungodly reason you're not playing World Eaters, and you activated that detachment and then moved things out of the way.
No to anybody who's playing me.
Which, I mean, honestly, that could be an argument for your house rule, because, like, if I've sat there and I flip this charge marker that I'm going to charge you, then you can say, I'm going to activate that detachment and move away. Mm-hmm. Whereas on an actual battlefield, those troops would have no clue whether they're about to get charged or not.
Exactly.
And wouldn't know to move away. So, I mean, I see your argument there.
That's kind of my thing on it, is that's just how I'm going to play it. Because if you haven't gathered, I'm more of this is a guideline rather than...
Well, I mean, in all honesty, in talking about gaming, I have generally put forth, like most, especially bigger battle games, to me, a lot of the rules are guidelines.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm playing Infinity, which has 1,000,000,001 rules, I streamline the shit out of it, and I ignore, like, half the fucking rules. Because I just want to roll some dice and kill some dudes.
That's all I want to do, too.
And the basic rules in Infinity are tactical enough and cool enough that if you play it that way, it's still a fun as hell game.
One of the best games that I ever played was with my World Eaters against Imperial Guard. That was fun as shit, and we both got the shit killed out of us.
Right.
I ran like 100 berserkers against the Imperial Guard infantry army, and that was fun as fuck.
I can imagine.
Because so much shit died.
Cool.
But then you do your actions.
Yeah.
All right, and everybody gathers damage.
Attacks.
And as you gather damage, you gain blast markers. So you have small blast markers and you have large blast markers. Small blast markers are basically count as one hit, or
Right.
1 point of damage. Large blast markers count as 2.
Okay.
So you have
So if I did 3 points of damage to a unit, it would have a large blast marker and a small blast
one.
marker. Okay.
Yes, and that is important in the damage phase,
Right.
because then after everybody's detachment's activated, we go to the damage phase, and you start counting up all the blast markers you have. Now, if you have a small blast marker, you can take your save on a D12. So say you have a 4+ save or a 5+ save. You take it on a D12, you have a more than 50% chance of
Or if it's a
making
7-up save, you can actually make it.
it. Yes. Or if it's a 7, or if you're an orc and it's a 10,
Right.
you can actually make it. Whereas if it's a large blast marker, you have to take it on a D6.
Yep.
And I don't know how good you guys are, but I've never rolled a 10 on a D6.
I have. Once or twice.
Because I believe that.
So do I.
Sorcery is real.
Magic, motherfucker.
It's the power of Fenris.
Right.
Suck a dick.
I sold my Space Wolves.
Fucking assholes. The only people who like Space Wolves are other Space Wolves.
I mean, I actually do like Space Wolves, but it's weird because I like my favorite Chaos army is Thousand
I
Suns.
want to like them so bad, and if they weren't such fucking dicks, I would.
I mean, I don't really think they're dicks.
They are dicks.
They're just kind of Vikings.
They're dicks.
Eh,
And that's coming from a World Eater player.
I don't think
They're more of dicks than the World Eaters are.
I don't think so, but you know.
They are.
Anyway, I like. It's funny because I really like Space Wolves on the Imperium side, and on the Chaos side, I really like Thousand Suns.
Thousand Suns are the shit. They got some good stuff.
Yeah,
Magnus did nothing wrong.
I agree with you on that one. I mean, of course, I like the sorceress shit. So
Yeah, it's all witchy poo stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan, but I can see how you can do that.
right, it's cool stuff to me.
But it's too complicated for my little tiny brain.
I know. Knowledge is power, and Joe has a tiny brain.
Yes.
Okay, so you're rolling all your saves.
Rolling all your saves. And
Everything
then-
dies.
Yep, everything dies.
Yes.
Horribly. For instance, Angrath is 28 power level, and he has a 4+ save. So if he has large blast markers, he has a 50% chance of making it.
Right, and is there multiple wounds?
Yes, there's multiple wounds. Most of your infantry guys on your standard squad, they only have 1 wound. Like your standard 5-man Primaris squad only has 1, or tactical squad only has 1 wound. I think your Primaris might have 2. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I mean they have 2 in 40k, so
Yeah, but it's for the entire squad. You're
Right.
taking saves on the entire squad.
right. So, if they get, okay, so let's say I have Primaris,
Yeah.
or how many wounds does Ungrath have? Since we're using
He has 5.
5, so he's got 5 wounds. So
Yes.
say I get a large blast marker and a small blast marker on him. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's basically got that. He's taken 3 damage or whatever in the damage phase. Now,
Well,
would
that
I-
large blast marker still only counts as 1 point of damage.
right? Okay, so now would I have to roll 2 saves?
Yes.
Okay,
You roll 1 save for each blast marker.
okay,
And how the size of the blast marker just tells you what die to roll.
right. So if he got 4 damage, it'd be 2
Large blast markers.
and 2 saves on
Yes.
a D6,
Yes.
having to get a 4 up to avoid being wounded.
Correct.
And then, of course, if he takes a wound, it comes off as 5 wounds. So after he's done that 5 times,
He's done.
or failed 5 saves, he's out
He's
there.
done skis.
Okay, so yeah, even somebody like that who's got a 4-up save with 5 wounds is going to be gone pretty fucking quick.
Yes.
Nice.
Like, I was watching some battle reports. I haven't had a chance to play yet.
Right.
Just because,
Well, neither have I,
Work.
because I want to finish. I have to do all my other AdMech, Secretary, Hoplites, and stuff
Yeah, I'm
like
redoing my entire World Eaters army, so I'm about 40 Berserkers deep right now. So
Yeah, so it'll be a while before I'm able to actually play. But I do actually want to play Apocalypse because it sounds like a lot of fun.
it does. It really does. And I'm itching to play. Like you can see my stack of cards.
Yeah. I mean, like most GW games, you're going to spend more time wanting to play than actually playing.
Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. So then, of course, you remove units and do end phase stuff.
Units and your end phase stuff. And there's a lot of special rules. Like, you each... let me find another one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I noticed there's some command auras and things
there's
like that.
like different weapons have different special rules on them, like Destroyer. If your weapon has the Destroyer special rule, then you get, for each point of damage, is a large blast marker instead of totaling up to a large blast marker for multiple wounds. Like, or here we go. Your Renegade Knight Magira. So he has a Destroyer weapon, which is each point of damage counts as a large blast marker. And then he has Inferno, which is means that he automatically hits his target.
Right.
It's basically like a flame template weapon. And then you have Rapid Fire, which basically means you double the shots.
Okay.
You know, it's just different special rules like that.
Yeah, but stuff similar to 40K that if you're familiar with it, you can get it.
If you're familiar with 40K, you should be able to pick this up in like 10 minutes.
Cool.
And I'm all about it because this is what I'm going to be playing with. Not really 40K much.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. It was good to run all that down. I think that'll probably be it for this session. We're going to take a break. That's going to be a while because we did do a big Malifaux Demo day up at Vendetta Games. And since Jeremy is sick, I'm going to wait until I can get him over here to record a Malifaux segment with him. And that'll pretty much be this episode.
I just want to talk about the mission table.
Mclean wants to talk more.
I do.
Shut up.
I want to talk about the mission table.
You're not my podcast supervisor.
GW hit a home run with this damn mission table, and I love it so much. It's basically open war cards, but you get it in the book.
Oh, cool. I really enjoyed open war cards.
Yeah, so you roll off for deployment. Mm-hmm. And then you roll off for your objectives, which is on a D12.
Nice.
So there's 12 different objectives, ranging from anywhere to Kingslayer, where you got to kill every for every warlord you get a victory point, and Field of Glory, where you got to do the objective marker things. And then they have a twist table.
What a twist!
What a twist! Which is also on a D12. And they've got some pretty interesting stuff in there too. I won't divulge much because it's a lot of reading.
Yeah, buy the book, scumbag. We paid
buy the book.
Yeah, we paid $100 for our box sets.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to glean all that information off of this shit. You buy it yourself, you
Which
fucktard.
people are fucking complaining about that shit. How much shit you get in this box is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like for the value, because I'm not one to give GW credit on their pricing scale, but I think this box has pretty good fucking value.
You know, and honestly, I will say that.
And also considering all the data cards are online for free.
Right. GW does, like, they will hit, like, every 10 things they price, they'll hit a home run on, like, one of them. And honestly, I looked at the box, was like, I did not feel like it was a bad purchase. I'm like, okay, this is a shit ton of these cards, everything I need to play the game, basically.
The rule book.
The rule book. The box is a cool little box that can hold everything in it.
All the tokens.
Yeah, all the tokens.
And they're not bad tokens. They're cardboard tokens. But, I mean, they'll
they're good quality.
And it comes with dice, and it comes with D6s, and it comes with D12s.
Yeah, all the dice you need.
It even has a little tray in here so you can separate all your cards.
Right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it great, you know.
I had no problem with it, and I saw people were complaining about it, so you need to just be quiet because this is
well, I mean,
I think they did a very good job with this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did too. I mean, it's, you know, not the level of, like, you know, say like some of the bundles of some of the games they've come out with where you get a whole, boatload of miniatures and other stuff and things like that. But it's still definitely a very good value. I mean, when you consider, like, there are plenty of miniature rule book games, rule books out there that just the rule book is, like
60
40,
50 bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, 40, 50, 60 bucks. And then you're buying a dice pack for 20 or 30. And then, you're buying whatever supplements or template pack for another 10 or 20 bucks.
And you got to buy the tokens.
Yeah. And then if there's tokens, you got to buy tokens for 20, 30 bucks. And then, so you're up to $100 on most of it. And they just packaged everything together instead of making you.
And you just
nickel
need
and
this
dime it.
box to play Apocalypse. You can just stack this box on top of your case, and you're good to go. Because everything fits in this damn box.
Yep.
Which I am also a big fan of.
Right. I mean, I do. That is one of the best things in the world is having it all situated in a box.
Yeah, because I'm not a fan of the FAQs anymore, having to haul around 5 freaking books, but whatever.
No, and if they put out additional cards or things like that,
there's slots for it.
Yeah.
They added, there's more room in here than you have cards.
Right.
So,
for expansions, which is cool.
And I love it.
Yep.
And then you have the ruse table and the sudden death table, and it's basically open war, but on a table scheme, and you just alternate rolling for whatever. And I normally don't play objective games, but I really liked open war. Thought open war was fun as fuck.
Me too. I mean, I thought it was cool because it allowed a lot of randomness. It allowed you to do different things.
Yes, I'm a big fan of randomness. I don't like playing the same game over and over and over, and that's mainly why I don't like the ITC missions. Is I feel like I'm playing the same game over and over.
Yeah,
it's not the people. It's just I'm not a fan of it.
Well, no, I mean, everybody has different play styles.
There's only one way
fine.
I play an ITC mission is that I run at your face.
And I mean, like I said, everybody has different play styles. Everybody has different things, and that's what I liked about Open War is it allowed for that craziness that was in there. If you didn't
buy those cards, shame on you. You missed out.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them. But with that being said, we are going to conclude this segment on Apocalypse, and we'll be back shortly with me and Jeremy on some crazy Malifaux stuff. Yay. And we'll be yapping it up about our Malifaux Demo Day and some of the other fun things that we've done and see how that goes.
And if anybody wants to have a Warhammer lore fight, I'm always down. I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
I mean, yeah. You can feel free to email Joe.
If you have any questions either about
McLeanSucksass.com.
It's cockguzzler.com.
Okay. And email him all you want.
What was it? The law firm of
clownpenis.fart. And he will gladly have lore battles with you or something. Or you can just call him out in the BDSM Drunkards Facebook page.
Do it.
Yeah. So anyway.
Magnus did nothing wrong. Prove me wrong.
We won't.
I know.
Because everybody here thinks Magnus did nothing wrong, so. Ha. And Angron's a pussy.